I have this question about using an indicator to initiate basically exiting a position, right? Flattening a position here with a couple of prerequisites. So so this will be showing how to require prerequisites before an indicator can exit your position there, right? So for this, we're going to be using the mama indicator here, which I already have on my chart right there, right? So, essentially, the mama indicator is trying to tell you the trend of the market here, determined by, the reddish purple line. Whatever side of the dash white line it's on, is letting you know what the trend direction is there. All right. So if the purple line, flips or crosses the baseline here, the white line, it crosses in the wrong opposite direction of the trade, then that's your cue to exit the position there, right? However, the indicator might be crossed in the wrong direction, as the trade is being opened, right? So you don't want that trade closed out immediately. So therefore, their prerequisite is that, the first profit target must be hit first, right? So in other words, so we need order A, to be hit first, right? And then monitor the mama indicator to see if it crosses in the wrong direction there. So we have a little bit of a setup here, some information on how to kind of set these two order sets up, right? So, obviously, if we're waiting for the first order set to be hit, then the only thing that can be closed is if we have a second position there. So the second position will just be as a runner there. All right, so let's get BlackBird open here, and let's just go with the market order to get in. There we go. And so let's set up that, let's see, 1.5 ATR. Yeah, so let's just go with the 2 ATR, and then we can adjust that down. So we'll go into the initial placement and adjust this to 1.5 ATRs there. All right, and oh yeah, that's right. Here's another kind of a lesson here. So the initial stop loss is the nearest swing point there, and let me actually kind of pause for a moment and let's get that indicator on the chart. There we go. All right, shark indicators, swing highs and lows. Let's see, we have 4 and 7. Okay. Actually, yeah, if you're going to use, at least for the swing highs and lows, if you're going to use that for your stop losses, let's see, we're going to either want number of swings set to 2 or 3, so that way it reacts a little quicker, right? Like if you look at this gap here, right, it took quite a while before this swing low is detected. So if I knock this down to 2, let's see, no, it's still is taking a while. And well, all right, didn't help for that. So that's just simply the swing strength there. Let me go back to 2. And all right, yeah, we'll go with 2. So I notice that the higher lows, and I think, yeah, the lower highs are reacting a little quicker there with 2 versus 3. Yep. All right, so we'll leave that at 2 there. Okay. Now we have that on there. Get BlackBird back open. And so for the stop loss, yeah, we can use the swing highs and lows, from the quick list here to get us started. There, let's open that up. And I want to make sure that the settings here for the swing indicator match what I have on my chart. And yeah, number of swings is 2, and swing size is 7. So, all right, we're good there. And just to make sure, so for a long trade, right, we're going to be using the bottom swings right there. And actually, Blackbird's using the tightest swings there. However, when your number of swings are set to 2, really the tightest swings and the widest swings are going to be one and the same there. Yeah. So we can just leave it like that. And there we go. All right. So we have that in there. And so now we can actually get to the key component here of this question, right, which is after the first profit target, well, really the only profit target after it gets hit, then flatten the position there, right? So what we'll do is create this another order set here, second one, and we'll just copy A. So at least our stop losses match now. And since the second order set here, or the second contract is a runner, we can just delete the profit target like that, get rid of that there. And let's see what else we have here. Well, actually, let me back up here. So I'm ignoring the ATR stop as well. So yeah, let's just go back a little bit here. And let me get this other indicator on my chart. Just a moment. All right, so I'm going to use the Lizard Trader or Lizard Indicators ATR stop. There we go. ATRTrailingStop. And yeah, it looks like, all right, so we have a 3 there. I'm guessing that 3 is probably the multiplier. All right. All right, so there you go. Another set of lines added here. So there's our ATR trailing stop indicator. Let's get Blackbird back open. So let's add this exit rule here to the first order set here. So let's open this up, and we're going to go into the trailing actions here. All right, and set the mode to custom. And there we go. Now, again, whenever you're using indicators, to control whether you're closing out, or moving a stop loss, any kind of indicators for management of your exit orders there, right? You're always faced with the issue of your indicators possibly being on the wrong side of the market there, right? So it's possible, right, that if we, when you go long, that the ATR trailing stop, right, might be in a downtrend, right? So you might, right, so it might be giving you a red trailing stop line. So, right, and then that would kick in this exit rule here, and just close out the trade immediately here. So I'm going to show you a little trick here so that we can wait for something like a trailing stop loss indicator here to flip directions first, and then close out the position here. All right, so let's see here. What should we call this? There we go. All right, ATR trailing stop exit. So the triggers is what's going to monitor that indicator there. So we're going to switch to the advanced tab, and let's see here. What do we want here? We want all simultaneously. Yeah. Set the mode to all simultaneously. And we're going to add 2 of the price versus indicator. All right, we're going to add 2 of these. So I'll just go ahead and drop those down on there right now. All right. Now, the first one here, right, so you can see we have 2 price versus indicators there. So, and we are literally comparing price, right, to the indicator here. So, let me see. So, give me a moment here to kind of, think about this. Let's see. So, input A, that will be the closing price. All right, closing price of the bar. And then input B, that's going to be our ATRStop indicator. So let's switch this over. And again, we're going to go into the Lizard Indicators folder. And there's our indicator. And again, we're using just a 3 multiplier there. All right. And so just remember, if you're using a different ATR period, adjust that as well there. And the stop dot or the stop line, basically those plots are both on top of each other, so it doesn't matter which plot you pick there. So there. All right, now we need to figure out the long mode and the short mode. So if you're in a long trade, we want the closing price to actually be below, we want the closing price to be above the ATRTrailingStop indicator. So, let's see. So input A needs to be equal or above B. Actually, we're just going to put that above B. And then for the short mode, it's going to be the opposite. So we'll just set that to below B, like so. All right. So one more thing here. One more setting here. So the displacement, we're going to set that to 1. And I'll circle back around and explain why here. So, all right. So this first price versus indicator trigger, what this is looking for is we want the ATR trailing indicator, right, to be in the right trend direction with the trade. So it's monitoring to see that the ATR trailing has flipped to the right trend direction, with the trade here, right? So again, for a long trade, right, the long mode is we want the close of the bar to be above the indicator, right? So when price is above the indicator, right, the indicator is blue, and so we know we're in an uptrend. So we want this indicator to be in an uptrend first, right? And that's the reason why I have this displacement to 1. And again, I'll come back to this. And now the second price versus indicator, again, we're going to set input B to the ATR trailing indicator. So let's add that in there. And again, set the ATR multiplier there to 3. Call it good. Now this time, right, when we exit, actually the close is going to be below. Let's see here. Yeah. So like this bar right here, the close of the closing price of that bar, right, is below the ATR stop indicator, right? And so that's when we get out of a long trade. So this time for a long trade, we're looking to see if A is below B, right? If the close is below the indicator. And the opposite for a short trade, right? Now, this time, right, input B, our indicator, the displacement set to 0. So that's going to be the current bar, right? And when your displacement is set to 1, effectively, you're looking back 1 bar. Right, and you know what? I should also do this. So the close should also be 1 bar back as well. All right, so for the top price versus indicator, right, input A, that close is going to be 1 bar back, and input B, right, the ATR stop indicator is also going to be 1 bar back, right? So we're checking that 1 bar back, that the price and the indicator were in an uptrend. You know, we're lined up so that we know that previously the indicator was in an uptrend, right? And then the second price versus indicator, right? So this is monitoring the current bar, right? So this close is going to be the current bar, right? The indicator has a displacement of 0. So this is looking at the current bar saying, oh, you know, did price and the indicator, did it flip on us, right? And so checking, well, let me back up here. So the first price versus indicator, since it's looking back 1 bar and it's checking that the ATR stop indicator was in an uptrend, you know, that's how we prevent this trailing rule from exiting here if you open a position where the ATR stop indicator is flipped in the wrong direction. So let's kind of look at this here, and we'll have to stretch this out. There. Right. So let's say, you know, you decide to go long right here, right? And of course, the ATR stop indicator is flipped in the wrong direction, right, for a long trade. So if we look at this, so, right, so the close of the bar is below that ATR stop indicator, but also the previous bar, right, this previous bar here, just put a little diamond there, right, this one is also below the ATR stop indicator, right? So if we look at the trigger rules here, so if we look at the trigger rules here, right, the first price versus indicator, right, that's looking back 1 bar and it wants, so for a long trade, right, it wants A above B, right, the close needs to be above the indicator. But as we can see on the chart, no, the close is below the indicator. So this trigger is false, right? And so both of these have to be true at the same time, and you know, before the trigger is met, right? Before, so all triggers have to be true in order for this trailing rule to kick in or to activate, right? So that's what triggers are doing, is they're looking for conditions, and you need all of those conditions to be true in some manner, you know, in some kind of sequence here, right? And the mode at the very top determines the sequence here. So in our case, you know, we need both of these triggers to be true simultaneously, right? So when this long position's open here, right, the first trigger is false, although the second trigger is true, right? But the first one's false. So therefore, it's, you know, this trailing rule is not going to be activated, and therefore it's not going to exit the trade immediately. You know, if you go wrong, if you go, you know, if you open a trade against the ATR stop indicator. Right. So, yeah, so this can be used with basically any kind of indicator, you know, that's trying to determine the trend for you, right? And you want to exit out of your trade, you know, if that indicator, you know, flips to the wrong trend direction, right? You know, so you could use the same kind of setup here for the mama indicator as well, Yeah, we could use that for the mama indicator as well. Checking to see, is one of the mama lines above or below the other mama line. So, okay, so let's finish setting this up. So we got the trigger set up here, right, to monitor the ATR stop indicator. And now the action here is we want to exit this trade. So the type is we're not going to move the order. We're going to flatten the position, right? So that's the action, is to flatten the position there, right? So exit if price crosses, the ATR stop. So, all right, now we have, now we have our stop and that extra condition there built into that stop loss as well. So now we can make a copy and move on to our second position there. All right, so let's get rid of the profit target again, like so. And now, this time for the runner here, this is where we're going to add the trailing rule based on the mama, or the exit rule, I should say. And remember, we have that prerequisite. So let's just go back here, right? So the profit target for order set A, needs to be hit first. Right? So this profit target needs to be hit first. All right, so let's open this back up, and there we go. All right, so back to the triggers again, right? So we need to make sure profit target is filled first, and then we can check the mama indicator to see if it's flipped into the wrong direction. Right? So again, back on the advanced tab here, because that's going to require 2 triggers, right? So if you're only utilizing one trigger, then you can just stick with the basic tab. But if you're using multiple triggers, then you have to switch over to the advanced tab. Right. And again, the mode here, let's see, we need in sequence. So we need this. So we need our triggers to become true in a specific sequence here. All right. So the first condition we need is the profit target needs to be filled first. So that is the order status changed, right? We're checking for the order status of our profit target to be filled. Right? So select the order. So we want to monitor the profit target here for A, right? And what are we looking for? We're looking for it to be filled, right? So you can say, okay, wait till all the contracts are filled, or just, if any of the contracts get filled there. I always kind of go with the more liberal approach and just see if any of the contracts get filled. I think that's what most traders would probably want is, because you never know, if you're trading 20 contracts, the market may not fill everything, but obviously your condition, has been met, that your profit target got hit, right? Or your stop loss got hit. So, all right, so there we go. So if any of the profit targets get filled, that's our that's our prerequisite. And now we can actually check whether the mama, is crossed down or crossed up here by using the price versus indicator trigger again. So here we go. Now this time, input A is going to be the mama indicator. So let's switch the mode up top here to indicator value. All right, and now we can go search for the mama indicator, and there we have it. All right, so I'm just using the default settings here, and let's see here. I think the purple line, I'm going to go open up the indicator again, but I think the purple line is the FAMA line. So let me just double check that. No, okay, it is the default. All right, so the FAMA is kind of like the baseline. All right, there we go. All right, so let's get back in here, and we want to open up the price versus indicator. All right, let's open up input A again, and open up the indicator, and switch our plots. All right, now input B is also going to be the mama indicator. So let's switch this over. Here we go. And this time, there we go. This will be the FAMA. So again, the FAMA is the purple line there. All right, so now if, let's see, yeah. So if the default line, in other words, input A, right, is the default line, if that is above the FAMA line, right, that's our exit condition for a long trade here. So we want well, I guess you could leave it on A equals or above B. So that would get you out a little quicker, possibly a little quicker than just saying A above B. Right, so I'll just kind of leave it using the equal there to be a little more liberal there. You know, so you never know. Looks like those lines could equal each other right there. So right, obviously that's a personal decision to make whether leaving the equals in there is okay or not. If you want to make sure that the lines definitely have crossed, then just use the A above B and you're good to go. All right, so there you go. So again, input A is the default line here, right? And that's the white line. And then input B is the FAMA line, so the purple line. Right, so that's those are the two conditions there. So we need the profit target to be filled first, and then look for the FAMA lines, crossed in the wrong direction there. And again, to make sure that this works correctly, we want this to happen in sequence, right? And so in sequence starts from the top down. So you need the top trigger to occur first, and then the second trigger, and then the third trigger, and so on and so forth, like so. All right, and once again, this is another flatten position, trailing rule here. Another flatten position condition. So let's switch the action over to flatten position, like there, right there. Okay, and that will do it. So let's see if the market will work with us and test this out. All right, looks like the market's gonna go down here a little bit. So let's go down and, let's see. Yeah, I'm trying to go short when, let's see, we do have a stop up there. Let's try this again. Yeah, so it looks like I have a feeling the trailing stop exit is probably triggering. Actually, yep, there we go. We definitely got a problem. we have for long mode, A above B, short mode, A above B. All right, let's see which was correct. Okay, I think that corrected it. Yeah, so the short side needed to be A below B. All right, and let's go check the other stop loss here, because that's going to have the same mistake in it. Yep, there we go. There. And all right, let's go long now. All right, so the ATR stop is in the wrong direction, and right, so there we go. So adjusting that price versus indicator trigger there, fixed it. Well, might have to go long again here. Although, yeah, we actually can't go long again because our stop loss is at the swing line there. So hopefully the market will go up. And you can see also the mama indicator is flipped in the wrong direction too. So right, so everything's kind of crossed against going long right now. You know, the ATR stop indicator and the mama there. And we're still in the trade, right? So that means that's telling us that those triggers rules that we set up, are working correctly. All right, yeah, so we're still going to go down just a little bit here, and then the market will start going back up. Now, I can't go long until the market's above the swing line there. Well, actually, let's just go short. Let's see, with any luck, the market might go down a little further. Actually, I don't think so. Let's see. Yeah, I think that might have been the low right there. All right, yeah, I'm just going to flip long here. All right, so again, the mama's flipped in the wrong direction, right? We didn't, so those trailing rules didn't kick us out, and the ATR trailing stop has also flipped in the wrong direction, right? And it didn't kick us out yet. So that's good, right? Means our triggers are built correctly. All right, there we go. So let's get that profit target hit. And yeah, you know what? That closed us out right away. All right, let's try this one more time. Because the mama was crossed in the wrong direction there. And let's see. It is crossed in the right direction. What's going on here? There. All right. Yeah. So one of those exit rules is backwards. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Jeez. I looked at the indicator and I still got those lines crossed in my trailing rules there. All right. Yeah. I think that is what happened here. All right, so let's open up the stop loss here. And yeah, I think the mama exit trailing roll here is backwards. All right, let's check this out. All right, input A. Yeah, is the default, the purple. So Yep. There we go. I do have this backwards. Okay. There we go. Flip that around. All right. Yeah, let's give this another go. Excuse me. All right, so we got that one solved. So, hopefully this kind of proves the point that once you've built something, obviously, go and test it out. And make sure you got all those trigger conditions, set up correctly. So, it can definitely be a bit of a mind bender here, making sure, you've got the right indicator lines, chosen correctly, and you've got the right, A above B and B below A and all that stuff, set up correctly. So, yeah. Let's see. So, yeah, Jim was letting me know, yeah, I got my lines crossed. So, good. Yeah. The market should head a little bit higher. I think like another 6 points higher. Something like that. And then a pullback. So it shouldn't take too long. I'm hoping to get the mama indicator to cross itself. And that way we can test that trailing rule there. Although, actually, you know what? I think the market's going to close below the ATR stop line before the mama line crosses. Yeah, that's a pretty tight ATR stop line there. So, but the fact that, it's not flattening the position right now, means that we do have the mama indicator set up correctly within the stop loss trailing rules. So I'm confident everything's working correctly now. All right, so while I wait for that, let's see, I will actually save this out here. All right, well, I think that's a pretty good name there. I tried to get in all the bits and pieces of what this stop loss is doing. Oh, shoot, I missed. I was not paying attention here, but my guess is, yeah, we had a close below the ATR stop there. Yeah, so that would have closed it out before the mama indicator had crossed. All right, yeah, thanks for the question, Jim.